because they're so narcissistic and self-obsessed. They can't conceive of the existence of an institution that doesn't reflect their values entirely.
Brenan ONeal, have Prince Harry and Meghan Markle permanently damaged the royal family? I ask because you will note that in recent weeks there has been this increasing drumbeat for reparations, an increasing drumbeat for King Charles and Prince William to effectively I guess, disconnect from the British Empire. Even discussion that, the OBE shouldn't exist anymore. It should no longer be the order of the British Empire. The word empire should disappear altogether. And I put a lot of this down to that really negative, forceful messaging from Harry and Meghan in their early days post-Megxit, where they made false accusations of racism within the royal family.
Yeah, I think there's two things going on. That firstly, there is Harry and Meghan's push to turn the royal family into yet another woke institution, as if we need another one. The last thing, as you say, I'm a Republican, but if we're going to have a royal family, which we do, they shouldn't be woke. They should be aloof. They should be mysterious. They should be rich. We should go and visit their castles. We don't want a woke monarchy. That is the worst of all worlds. But also the second thing, alongside Harry and Meghan's drive to make the monarchy look like them because they're so narcissistic and self-obsessed, they can't conceive of the existence of an institution that doesn't reflect their values entirely. Alongside that, there was the death of the Queen. And the Queen, I'm anti-monarchy, but I was pro-Elizabeth. I think she was one of the great Britons of modern times. She devoted herself to this country. She devoted herself to service. And she was in many ways a block against a lot of this stuff. She was the living physical embodiment of history, of tradition, of the idea that there is a different way to organize life than simply by being woke and being online all day and serving yourself. She showed that there was a different way to do things. You could serve the country, you could sacrifice things in order to serve the country. She showed that there's a different way to organize life itself. So her absence, her passing, in addition to Harry and Meghan's continual agitation to dent the royal family and to embarrass the royal family and to change the royal family, I think it's those two things combined that have made the royals become increasingly woke. And I think if even the monarchy becomes woke, then Britain might be a lost cause.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. But I'm heartened that the UK and the US have turned off Harry and Meghan. I mean, it has been absolutely fascinating watching their descent. I know you've written quite a lot about it, but they have gone from being a couple that were the toast of woke Hollywood to actually being considered so toxic that they didn't even end up endorsing in the US presidential election, probably because they would have caused more damage to Kamala Harris than if they stayed silent. But I guess where it hurts the royal family is the impact that they've had in the Caribbean, for example, and in Africa, where I feel like Harry and Meghan are gaslighting, because it's very, very ironic for a couple that are completely bankrolled through money gained from the death of members of the British royal family. I mean, remember, Harry is currently funding his lifestyle from the inheritance that has just gone into his bank account, we believe about £8 million, from the death of the late Queen Mother. Now, surely, if he really did care about the issue of reparations, then he would be pumping that money back into the Caribbean rather than spending it on private jets to travel everywhere.
They are the world's worst hypocrites. They pontificate from the podium of Vogue magazine and the celebrity world and interviews with Oprah Winfrey, all these places where they have access to a pretty large audience, and they pontificate endlessly about the scourge of racism and the scourge of climate change and all these problems that ordinary people are apparently causing because we're all so thick and we're all so evil and we're all so polluting. That's the message we get from them all the time. These are people who cause more pollution probably in 1 week than the rest of us cause in 1 year. These are people who leap on private jets like the rest of us might jump in an Uber. These are people whose, that frock that Meghan wore on Oprah, that infamous Oprah Winfrey interview, cost tens of thousands of pounds. That's more than most people earn in 2 or 3 years. These are people dripping with privilege, dripping with wealth. And as you say, they've now got more wealth as a consequence of certain inheritances. And they think they have the right to wag their fingers at the rest of us. To my mind, as a Republican, they're the worst kind of royal people, because at least the royal family here in Britain has been slightly neutered and tamed as a consequence of civil wars and uprisings and all the things that have happened in this country over the past 400 or 500 years. The monarchy has gone from being an absolute monarchy to a constitutional monarchy, and most people are pretty happy with that. But Meghan and Harry are like the old monarchy. They think they can tell us oiks how to live. They think they can dictate to us and tell us off and wag their fingers at us. So they're actually far worse than King Charles and Queen Camilla and the Prince of Wales and the Princess of Wales. At least those royals recognize that their role is largely decorative, largely constitutional, whereas these royals, Harry and Meghan, think they have the right to swagger around and tell us off morning, noon, and night. So they're the worst kind of celebrity royal mashup that you could ever imagine. And the sooner they pipe down, the better.
It's hilarious, though, because, of course, Trump being elected or re-elected as the 47th president of the USA was their worst nightmare. Look at this headline in today's Independent, Brendan, saying Trump's victory is what Harry and Meghan feared most and may drive them out of America. Obviously, there is this ongoing court case by the Heritage Foundation, which is looking into whether Harry lied on his immigration documents to enter the US. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. They hardly make a dent on your appearance, and some can even be harmful to your skin, he said. Recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? So he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. It's almost like Photoshop for your face. You may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view, Lake told reporters. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. If this helps even one person look younger or feel more confident, I'll be thrilled knowing I helped, Dr. Lake commented. The video has since gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but since then, it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. One woman even commented, "Best results of anything I've used. I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great, so thank you." Now, you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. Now, there is one thing Dr. Lake asks from his viewers. If watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But the problem is, where would they go now? Because I don't think the UK wants them back. Well, in fact, I know the UK doesn't want them back.
Where would they go? That's the good question. And they can't go back into the arms of the royal family because they have betrayed the royal family. They've they have betrayed their own family. You know, I suffered Prince Harry's book Spare because I had to write a review of it.
Yes,
And
me too.
it's full of royal intrigue and this controversy over t a tiara that wasn't delivered on time and all this absolute privileged nonsense. And I don't understand any of that because I'm not a royal person. But I tell you what I do understand. I understand what it means to have brothers. I've got
Mm.
5 brothers, and I know what it would mean to any of them if I were to write a book stabbing them in the back, telling the world their secrets, telling the world the arguments we'd had, the fights we'd had. I know what a betrayal they would experience that as. And Spare is a betrayal of one brother against another. It is obnoxious. At that level, at that fraternal level, Harry tells the world things about William that you should never tell the world about your own brother. He tells them about when he lost his temper, when he was allowed to grow a beard and when he wasn't allowed to grow a beard, and when they had a fight and when they didn't have a fight, and what they think of their stepmother, and so on and so forth. The kind of revelations one would never make about a brother that they actually cared for. So this was an act of fraternal betrayal as well as an act of anti-royal betrayal. So they can't come back to Britain. They can't come back to the royal family itself. So they've made themselves exiles. They forced themselves into this exile position. It's entirely their fault. And the question of where they go next is something that they are going to have to solve.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You speak of Prince William, and I want to show you the front pages of the UK newspapers today, Brendan, because it shows you the love and affection that is still held for Prince William. And I'll take you through them. Uh, The Sun, hardest year of my life, the Daily Mirror, it's been brutal. The Daily Express, it's been the hardest year of my life. The Daily Mail also runs it. William has been brutal for all of us. And this is William speaking for the first time in some details to reporters in South Africa about a year which obviously saw his wife diagnosed with cancer, his father deal with quite serious cancer. And William said, "It's been dreadful. It's probably been the hardest year of my life." And we know, of course, that 1997 must have been incredibly difficult, that the loss of his mother. So trying to get through everything else and keep everything on track has been really difficult. But he says, "I'm so proud of my wife. I'm proud of my father for handling things that they have done. But from a personal family point of view, it's been brutal." And during times like that, Brendan, who do you rely on? Who do you need? Well, you need your blood relatives, don't you? You need your brother. But William will not return Harry's calls or messages. And I don't blame him because, as you say, for me, Spare crossed a red line. There's really no going back. And like you, well, I have a sibling, my sister. I don't have any brothers, but the idea that either of us would ever sell the other one out, I mean, it would not even cross my mind. And so I don't think there is a way back for Harry after that. And how shameful that he has not been there to support his older brother through the hardest year of his life, which is something that Diana always hoped Harry would be there to provide support.
You know, for most of us, it would never cross our minds to sell out a sibling.
No.
However much money was on the table, however much fame was being offered to us, there are some things more important than celebrity. And family bonds is one of those things, and a sibling bond in particular. And so when Harry did that, when he sold out William, which he did in Spare, is unquestionable. This is a 400-page temper tantrum
I'm just
written by Prince Harry, in which he moans about the royals and he moans about his brother and he moans about his mother, his stepmother, and his father. It's a temper tantrum in literary form, and he sold out his family, and he particularly sold out his own brother. You know, the great twisted, dark irony of what Prince Harry and Meghan have done over the past few years is that they bleat endlessly about the importance of their privacy. They say, leave us alone, stop interfering in our lives, stop exposing everything we do to the public glare. And yet they did that to their own families. They exposed Prince William's temper and his emotions and his feelings, which everyone has, by the way. They exposed that to the public glare. They exposed Prince King Charles' opinions to the public glare. They told on their own family. They expose their own family to the kind of public scrutiny that they claim to hate when it comes into their lives. So that kind of hypocrisy is almost unbelievable. But I really think that, you're right about the front pages on William and the groundswell of sympathy for William and Kate in this country. Now, I may be a Republican and I want to live in a Republic of Britain at some point, but I am in a minority. And the truth of the matter is that there are millions of people out there who have a very strong and warm feeling for William and Kate. They have a very strong feeling for those two. They sympathize with them. They think they are good royals. They think they will be a good king and queen in the future. We all hope so. Even I hope so. And I don't particularly want a king and queen in the future, but even I hope so. So I think this is what's interesting, isn't it, about majority opinion and elite opinion? Because the elite opinion in this country, in the media class and sections of the political class, is with Harry and Meghan. They're seen as victims who we must all support and cry for, etc., etc. But majority opinion, ordinary people's opinion, the opinion of people who read the newspapers and watch this show and have honest, decent views, the opinion of those people is with William and Kate. It's with the other side. And it's such an interesting moral divide that is thrown up by the Harry versus William clash. And it's something I think really worth thinking about.
Indeed. Oh, Brenan ONeal, it has been so good to be talking to you again. Yeah. Please let's not leave it so long next time. I want you back on Outspoken. But your columns in Spiked Online and The Spectator remain absolutely essential reading for me every week. But the book is incredibly important. After the Pogrom, available right now. And thank you so much for being here today, Brendan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.